Have you ever thought, man, is there any easier way to put together my works online and get it in front of more people? Hello, I'm Hiro Yamada. I'm the founder and CEO of Foriio, where we make portfolio easy for creators. I would like to start fresh with this YouTube channel to talk about what we do at Foriio and why we do it and how we think about updating the way creators work. Okay, so let me give a little introduction about myself. I began by working in a creative or advertising industry as a designer, and then later became art director. But during these years, I met lots of companies. I worked on a lot of projects, and also met a lot of talented peers. Um, Over the years, I noticed the frustrating fact, which was the even the most gifted creators often struggle to sustain their careers, not just because uh, of the talent, but more so of not being able to get their work or get themselves in front of the right opportunities. Yeah, so at first, I saw this as a chance to sharpen up my skills and build a relationship with new peers that I met. So I used to create online portfolio websites for them. But at the same time, I couldn't. I knew that I couldn't do this for everyone, so I eventually stopped. But even a decade later, when I meet new creators, I was still asked to create portfolio website for them. So I noticed that even with all the tools out there available, so many creators were still struggling to set up their place to showcase their work online. So I couldn't know, I knew that I could no longer create one for each one of them, but maybe I could make one portfolio tool that everyone could use. So that's how I got started. Now, there's a little bit more story, a little more to the story. Uh, so there was one specific uh, creator who was a friend of mine uh, that went through that made me really, get off my butt and be like, I really have to do this to help creators and change how it is right now. Uh, he was a fashion stylist and he was working as assistant stylist at the time for uh, stylist was well known in the industry, and also he was working for one of the top tier fashion magazine. Now, those who been working professionally in advertising or fashion or creative industry in general, and if you're really out there, you know how hard it is to work as assistant something in the industry. But he was working his ass off, trying to meet the expectation from the master or the stylist, trying to learn, grow as a professional. A few years passed. He was still working as assistant, and this is another uh, problem in the industry. But he was not getting paid uh, enough. He was getting paid like a penny worth of salary, but he has to work really hard for all the photo shoots and uh, from morning to midnight, Monday to the weekends. And it's like that, right? Um, and his master was very strict, and so he should be, but was a very strict person. But there was one problem where he was also being quite uh, not necessarily was somewhere in a gray zone between harassment, uh, too much, too strict, over strict in the areas that the stylist didn't need to be. So, but anyways, so my friend made a mistake one day, uh, and his master wouldn't forgive him. So actually, his master told my friend to, if no, you're done, uh, you're useless, blah blah blah. And my friend was like, no, I want to continue doing this. Please give me one more chance, kind of thing. Not the exact same word, but the kind of brief context is that's how it went. And the master was like, okay, if you really think you made a bad mistake and if you want to make it up, go dress up as a girl and stand in front of Hachiko and Shibuya Station and to take a photo. And that was like a Christmas day, but and that's flipping unnecessarily BS, right? For anyone to uh, make it feel like they need to do this to right their wrongs. But that's how cruel the situation was. So he went, but he still went out there and did it because he really respected his craft and the work that he has been doing, uh, and he eventually wanted to do the same thing. But he did it. But after he did it, he his heart broke, and he reached out to me, and we met up at the restaurant in Shibuya, and his heart was broken, and he basically said, "Hey, man, I'm I'm quitting. I'm going to give up." But I told him, because I've been hearing all these stories for so long. I told him that, hey, um, stuff, stuff is, stuff you're a master, stuff whoever you're working with. I know that situation was cruel. You put up with things that you didn't have to put up with, and you don't have to. You're not the one who has to quit. You quit your current situation, but you don't have to quit your dream to become a stylist. You got all this. You learned many things during these few years that you've been persevering and putting your heads down and doing the work that you need to do to gain the experience and skills. You put that, put all those things together, put yourself, make yourself a portfolio, and go and grab new opportunities. I'm pretty sure in the entire fashion industry, there's someone that would treasure, and value what you have learned and experienced in your current top tier level, uh, stylist. But then this, next answer that he gave me, which made me realize that something had to change, which was, hey man, it's easy for you to say. It's completely different situation here, where first of all, it's hard for me. I don't have a way to easily put together my portfolio. Uh, of course, he had a physical portfolio, but to in 2010s, there was already so many chances that you could grab online, but you had to have an online place to showcase that. But my friend did not have that much literacy around uh, digital uh, way to do so, right? I don't know how to make websites, right? And but I was telling him like, oh, but there's just this, you can use this, that, and then he was like, you know, on top of that, you're good. You have all the works that you did because you're a designer, and when things gets finally delivered, usually it comes to the hands of designer, and designer makes the final deliverables, and So you have the final data. But a stylist, sometimes designers and art directors that I work with, they never send me a final piece. Uh, or when they do, they will send me in a PDF format with all the trim marks. This is like I'm talking all the specific details, but that's the reality, So I'm gonna talk about it. And sometimes photographers would give you the final data, but they'll give you in the raw data or the PSC data because that's the final version. And they should, when they talk about final version, they should give you the final data. So it will be in the PSD format. But it's too huge. They can't open it up in a MacBook Air that they have, because you're not gonna be needing MacBook Pro with a high spec uh, uh, RAMs and CPUs and stuff like that. If you're just a stylist, you could have one, but if you're an assistant, you don't have that much money to purchase all of the gadgets like that. So, uh, so even if I do have the final data, it's so hard for me to edit or deal with those kind of things. So right now, I actually, uh, saying I actually go out to the printing shop or the camera shop to give them the data and print them out for me. Or sometimes he said, sometimes I go out to the bookstore and purchase the magazine that I worked on. I buy a couple of them, one to put it in a physical portfolio, one to save it just in case, and one for complete what do you call it, storing it, saving it as an archive purposes. And on top of that, because he wasn't, if he quits right now, he's not going to be uh, graduating this discipleship. He's just quitting it. So he said his master is likely not to ban him from working with uh, anyone that's any companies or any clients that's around that industry or around his territory. But there were some things that it's like, okay, but that's how it is, or things that you could say that. But I was like, okay, that's complete BS to me. And there's so much that I could say, and I could actually assist him or help him with. But at least this, oh man, I can't put together my portfolio, so I couldn't. It's hard for me to reach new opportunities from here onwards. So I'd rather quit. That has to end right there. That's what I strongly felt. So just me seeing, there are many creators who are struggling to put together their portfolio. Maybe there could be one, one web service idea or tech app idea to no, this is something that has to change. And I knew that there will be so many other creators who are struggling for the same or similar cause, and because of that, creators might be losing their opportunities or giving up on continuing uh, to pursue their professional creative careers. So that's when this whole thing became real serious. So that is why we Foriio is very much dedicated to empowering individual creators and hoping to create a world where every creators can thrive globally. Now, on this channel, uh, I would like to share behind the scenes stories and updates about what we've been or what we are working on, and also introduce and share some of the creatives or creators that we know or we got to know. So if you think you can resonate with uh, these contents, Please hit like button and also subscribe and join our channel, uh, and come and help and join us build a better, exciting, and more open world for creators. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.